अगर आप इस लेस की पैकेट को खरीदते हैं एंड ये है 30 रुपए की, इट कैरीज 78 ग्राम्स ऑफ पोटैटो चिप्स एंड आपको ऐसे ही ख्याल आता है क्यों ना हम इसको वेट करके देखते हैं एंड आपको मिलता है 60 ग्राम्स ऑफ चिप्स इंस्टेड। एंड या फिर आपके साथ ऐसा हो कि आप ये लेस की पैकेट खाते हैं और आप तुरंत ही बीमार पड़ जाते हैं, आपका पेट खराब हो जाता है, तो आप कहाँ जाएंगे? यू विल गो टू द कंज्यूमर कोर्ट। बट आप समझिए, अगर यही पैकेट जो 30 रुपए की है इसका रेट 50 रुपए कर दिया जाए और इसके अंदर की मात्रा को 10 ग्राम कर दिया जाए, if they are selling 10 grams worth of potato chips for ₹50 and this has become a universal thing जहाँ पे ना सिर्फ Lay's but Bingo which is sold by ITC and also the other brand which is called 2Yum which is from the Goenka group is sold for 50 rupees and it carries only 10 grams of potato chips. Suddenly आप कहाँ जाएंगे? क्या आप कंज्यूमर कोर्ट जा सकते हैं? Can you tell consumer court that this piece of chips bag is very expensive? No, you can't do that. तो इस चीज़ के लिए है Competition Act 2002. And in this video, normally मैं बहुत ही technical video बनाता हूँ, but for the sake of it, I will actually make a practical video. I will give you 2 case laws and भले ही आप CA field से हो या नहीं हो, this will give you an insight of how things work in Competition Act. And ज़रूरी नहीं, normally if you are a CA student you will have to learn it in depth, but if you are not a CA student this knowledge will be very interesting for you. So let's begin. So this video is about Competition Act 2002 and why this act came into existence is very important. Now, this act's main objective, if I say so in very simple terms, is to bring democratic competition in the market and economic development. And ये नहीं कहता कि इसको आपको competition नहीं होना चाहिए, ये कहता है कि competition होना चाहिए जो fair है. So this is one thing that you need to understand very, very clearly. Moving to things which are technical and are related to CA in paper 60 economic laws, I will give you one advice as a student that this particular act will be very, very interesting if you study it practically. And if you start studying it, just for the sake of your exams, there will be case laws that will confuse you completely and you will actually not understand anything, although the sections are very easy. So that's what I would say. There are some important definitions. Major crux of the entire act is in the first 5-6 sections itself, and उसके बाद धीरे धीरे the importance is lesser. But anyways, you will have to study because there will be MCQs and 1 markers or 2 markers in any question. So उसको छोड़ते हैं. Let's talk about the practical point. And how many of you are really interested in ACC Cement, Ambuja Cement, Ultratech Cement, Ramco Cement? These are like major cement players as of today and actually were major cement players back in 2010. So one of the most landmark case laws in Competition Act was Competition Commission versus Cement Manufacturers Association. Even I have done a lot of base work for this video and I hope I can deliver it well. So I'll tell you in layman's terms and I will not complicate it. बहुत सिंपल चीज़ है, आपको समझने में बहुत मज़ा आएगा. So what happened back in 2008, there was a financial crisis and everyone knows it. ऐसा कोई बंदा नहीं है जिसको 2008 का financial crisis पता नहीं. But 2008 में there was one society which was registered under Societies Act 1860 and that society's name was Builders Association of India. So Builders Association of India was an informant which complained about the practices which were going on between cement manufacturers associations. So इस association में कुल 11 या 12 कंपनियां थी जिसमें मैंने बड़े नाम आपको already बता दिए. And there was JK Cement also. So in this entire situation, what had happened is because of 2008 crisis, the government had given certain relaxations or subsidized certain inputs. The complaint of our Builders Association was that these particular companies have formed a cartel, which is actually a definition under section 2 subclause 6. And to say the definition, it is nothing but an association of producers, sellers, distributors, service providers which are trying to regulate production or storage or prices of any commodity or goods or services. And I will not go into very detail because I want to keep it practical. So ये हुआ, and complaint ये थी कि despite many practices, ये company मिलजुल कर they are regulating the price. And to be specific, ACC Cement, which is ACC Limited, and the other one is Ambuja Cement. These people, these two companies had 21% share together, and these were the people who were actually cartelizing the entire product market, cement market. They were regulating prices and they were actually dictating the terms. So in इसके चक्कर में when this information was passed on, Competition Commission had taken an action, but the appeal went on to the Supreme Court, and this is where things got interesting. This is where the number crunching started. So let's say the production capacity is 100%. Before this 2008 crisis, the production on an average was around 95% capacity utilization. मतलब अगर कंपनी 100 टन सीमेंट बना सकती है, they were producing 95 tons of cement. Even though there was a 2008 crisis, the home retail segment, home construction segment was growing, and there was a cement sector growth of around 11.8%. इतना होने के बावजूद कंपनी ने क्या किया? कंपनी ने अपनी कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन को 90% से 80-82% कर दिया. ये करने से क्या हुआ? There was a huge shortage of cement in the industry. When there is a growing industry and you cut down the production instead of actually expanding it, you actually create a supply shortage. इससे डिमांड एक्सेस हो जाती है and supply कम हो जाता है. Naturally, every cement company got the chance of increasing prices, and this is what happened. Within a span of just 1 year, the cement price per bag went from 5 rupees to 27 rupees incrementally. That means 5 रुपए पर बैग बढ़ाया गया, फिर 10 रुपए, एंड फिर 15, एंड सीधा 27 रुपए बढ़ाया गया एक बैग पर. तो आप सोच सकते हैं, सीमेंट ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है जो आप सिर्फ एक बैग 25 किलो का खरीदते हैं. सीमेंट ऐसी चीज़ है जो आप टन्स में खरीदते हैं, एंड टन्स का इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है? अगर आप 1000 किलोज डिवाइडेड बाई 25 करेंगे, 40 टाइम्स 40 bags. So every bag 40 into 27. So that is the number that with which the price was increased, and it is not a small number. आपको लगेगा 27 रुपए कम है, बट अगर 27 रुपए बढ़ रहे हैं, ये बहुत ज़्यादा है एक सीमेंट बैग के लिए within 1 year. And there was no correlation with the input cost and the increase in the price. अब ये चीज़ को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने पकड़ लिया, और कहने के लिए तो गले से पकड़ लिया कि बताओ इसका हिसाब क्या हुआ. एंड इसके बाद ये बातें भी निकली गई कि गवर्नमेंट ने 2008 क्राइसिस को स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए रॉ मटेरियल एंड अदर इनपुट कॉस्ट सच एज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को सब्सिडाइज किया था. फिर भी कंपनी ने एक्चुअली प्राइसेस बढ़ाई हैं. दिस इज वेयर द एंटायर एसोसिएशन वॉज हुक्ड अप. एंड कॉम्पिटिशन एक्ट में एक बात बोली जाती है एग्रीमेंट के बारे में. नॉर्मली हम पढ़ते हैं एग्रीमेंट लिखी होती है, एग्रीमेंट एनफोर्सेबल होती है. कॉम्पिटिशन एक्ट वो बातें नहीं करता. कॉम्पिटिशन एक्ट बोलता है एग्रीमेंट नीड नॉट बी रिटन, इट कैन बी इम्प्लाइड, इट इज़ व्हाट इट मीन्स. एंड इसका एग्रीमेंट नीड नॉट बी एनफोर्सेबल. ज़रूरी नहीं कि अगर अंबुजा सीमेंट बोल दे कि मैं ये प्राइस नहीं करूँगा तो ACC उसको स्यू कर सके. अगर फिर भी ऐसा नहीं है सर्कमस्टेंस, फिर भी ये एग्रीमेंट कहलाएगा. सो this particular act takes into consideration of implied agreements. and normally अगर आपको पता है, कानून बिना एविडेंस के काम नहीं करता. अगर कानून इम्प्लाइड काम कर रहा है कि किसी चीज़ को इम्प्लाइड वे में भी एविडेंस की तरह ले रहा है, देन इट्स अ वेरी बिग थिंग. सो ऑफ कोर्स इट विल नॉट बी बेसलेस, इट विल बी कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस ओनली, बट स्टिल. सो अपने को ये समझते हुए आगे बढ़ना है कि ये होने के बाद कंपनी का क्या हुआ. सुप्रीम कोर्ट को आया गुस्सा. सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैड डिसाइडेड अ पेनल्टी ऑफ deciding a base into multiplication factor. So base was either 10% of turnover, which is of 2009-10 and 10-11, 10% of turnover aggregated of all these companies, or 3 times of net profit of 2009 and 2009-10 and 10-11. And in 2009 also from 20th of May 2009, इसी टाइम नोटिफिकेशन आया था गवर्नमेंट का. ये 3 टाइम्स ऑफ नेट प्रॉफिट और 10% ऑफ टर्नओवर, इन दोनों में जो भी ज़्यादा है ये बनेगा आपका बेस, एंड इनटू 0.5 टाइम्स इज इक्वल टू योर पेनल्टी. सो अराउंड आपको आया कुछ 12,614 करोड़ एज 3 टाइम्स ऑफ नेट प्रॉफिट विच वॉज हायर, सॉरी एज नेट प्रॉफिट विच वॉज हायर. एंड उसके बाद आया 0.5 दैट मेक्स द पेनल्टी अमाउंट टू 6,307 crores by 11 सीमेंट कंपनीज एंड ACC लिमिटेड अंबुजा सीमेंट को 1100 करोड़ के आसपास का कोई पेनल्टी गिरा है. So you can imagine the quantum of penalty back in 2010 when everyone was facing financial crisis and the economy was stabilizing. So if you go with technical terms of Competition Act, this is a horizontal agreement. Horizontal agreement is a thing where आप similar product similar product के level पे if you're tying up with the sellers, distributors, and you are creating an association, that will be called as horizontal agreement. But vertical agreement ऐसी चीज़ है जिसमें आपका raw material supplier and you as a producer and आपका distributor कोई tie up में जा रहा है कि we will create a shortage. इसमें भी एक case law है which I will not explain in this video, but I will tell you about it. There's a case law of Honda and Volkswagen where they being the OEM manufacturers, that is original equipment manufacturers, had created a shortage of spare parts. इसके ऊपर भी आप केस लॉ पढ़ सकते हैं, बहुत फेमस है होंडा के ऊपर. एंड देन इसके बाद आते हैं अपना नेक्स्ट वाला अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंट पोजीशन. Section 3 says that you should not, it is unlawful to enter into any agreement which is between any producers, sellers, distributors or service providers in order to control any supply, storage or pricing of any goods or commodities or services. So this will be called unlawful if it has appreciable adverse effect on competition in India, and this any such agreement will be considered as void. ये है section 3. Now we'll move on to section 4. यहाँ पे भी एक बहुत ही interesting case law है and I'll close the video with this one. So section 4 is saying that on abuse of dominance, it is not saying that dominance is not allowed in India, monopoly is not allowed in India, but it is saying that you should not abuse your monopolistic position. अब इसका मतलब ये है कि you can't do unfair pricing. You can't create any shortage of supply or demand just because you're in the monopoly. You can't hold back any scientific development in the product, like any technical development. For example, if Apple knows how to integrate screens into a projector system for about 10 years and they have kept it as a secret, let's say they are in India, and then that will be an appreciable adverse effect. So ये चीज़ें आप नहीं कर सकते as an abuse of dominant position. You know what is the important case law in this thing? Airtel versus Jio. This case never actually reached the verdict Airtel wanted, but then it was a very beautiful case law. So Airtel versus Jio में Airtel says to Competition Commission of India that Jio has abused its dominant position. I will tell you one very important thing about abuse of dominant position. Abuse of dominant position is always considered in relation to the relevant market. Either relevant market can be your relevant geographical market or relevant product market. इन दोनों के चक्कर में you will be analyzed whether you are in a monopoly or in a dominant position. If you are not in a dominant position, there is no question of abuse of dominant position. So coming to what Airtel had done, Airtel ने बोला Competition Commission क्यों कि Reliance का Jio ने फ्री में प्रोडक्ट्स देके which is called predatory pricing कंपटीशन को खराब किया है. दैट इज दे हैव कॉस्ट अब्यूज ऑफ डोमिनेंट पोजीशन. पहला बात ये है कि व्हाट इज प्रेडिटरी प्राइसिंग. प्रेडिटरी प्राइसिंग इज कॉल्ड एज सेलिंग ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज एट बिलो कॉस्ट इन ऑर्डर टू एलिमिनेट कॉम्पिटिशन फ्रॉम द मार्केट. Airtel has alleged that Jio had used predatory pricing to eliminate competition from the market, and it was under abuse of dominant position. So Competition Commission was like, first let's see what is the relevant market here. Jio did not exist in the market, so it cannot really abuse the dominant position. That's point number 1. Number 2, predatory pricing will be relevant when the person is already existing in the market. If the person is not existing in the market and it is merely incentivizing the customers कि आप मेरी प्रोडक्ट लीजिए, तो उसको आप प्रेडिटरी प्राइसिंग नहीं कह सकते. इट इज ओनली ए मार्केटिंग स्ट्रैटेजी. सो दिस इज वेर यू ड्रॉ द लाइन, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी केस लॉज वेर यू विल थिंक दैट इट इज abuse of dominant position, but in fact it is not, and where you think that it might not be an abuse of dominant position and it will be. So that's a very interesting part about Competition Act. Coming back, so this was the first thing. that the competition commission said to Airtel कि if they are not existent in the market, how will they abuse their dominant position? Second thing, if you are telling that they have used predatory pricing, it is merely incentivizing. They have not sustained those prices for a longer period. Third thing, Airtel was like, पर इन्होंने अपने रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज का जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ है, उसको यूज़ करते हुए मार्केट को अब्यूज़ किया है. And simply competition commission replied that we cannot stop investments. Reliance has merely made an investment into the company. So this was one thing where competition commission said कि भाई ये केस बेबुनियाद है, इसका कोई वजूद नहीं है. You can't say that Jio has dominated in India or has made an abuse of dominant position in India. And this is the most epic part which you will understand between Airtel and Jio. And I'll tell you why it is also important to consider this thing. Before Jio entered in the market, Airtel's market share was around 24.9%. Idea was around 17% and Vodafone was around 19%, MTNL 9.3%. After Jio entered in the market, players like Aircel have gone for a toss. There were other players in the market, but like Tata Docomo, they have gone out of the market. And now the main person who's in the market is Jio, holding 35%, Airtel holding around 29%. Even Airtel's market share has increased by around 5%. And Idea and Vodafone consolidated holding as 26%. MTNL or BSNL holding at 10%. And others are there in the market. So if you see, it is very, very critical to analyze small points in this thing. And I hope this video was helpful. मैं आपके लिए practical examples लाया हूँगा, and I have made this video more understandable with my broken Hindi. Really excuse me with that. I am not used to speaking in Hindi before a camera, so I will get better with time. I hope you like this video, and I hope it gets the love. All the best.